Okay, this is a little bit of a departure from the normal content on this channel. I want to talk about how to quit smoking. This is my personal stop smoking method that I used to quit smoking 30 years ago, and I was a carton a week smoker for 10 years. From the time I was 15 to 25, roughly, I got up to, like I said, a carton a week. So what I discovered is the first cigarette of the day is the one that sends a bolus of nicotine to your central nervous system. And that is what creates the addictive response for the rest of the day. You may remember, if you've ever had to go a long period of time without a cigarette, you may remember how shocking it is to your system when you have your first cigarette of the day. Tingling in the hands and feet, those sort of symptoms. So that's what that is. That is the bolus of nicotine hitting your central nervous system. So the key to breaking smoking is twofold. Yes, it is a mind over matter. It's a physiological. There's a psychological component to it, and there's also a physiological component to it. So you are actually physically addicted to a substance. So once you break the physical addiction or the physiological addiction, then you can work on the psychological end of it and not go back to it. So it's a twofold system here. The first thing is getting off of the physiological dependency on the substance of nicotine. And the way you do that is by each day extending the amount of time that you go without the nicotine in your system. So you're basically going to go overnight without smoking. Hopefully you don't wake up in the middle of the night to smoke. All right, so instead of having your first cigarette when you wake up, let's just say that's 6 a.m. On day one, or let's say 5 a.m. Okay, I'm an early riser. Let's say you normally wake up at 5 a.m. On day one, you're going to wait 1 hour from the time you wake up, and you're going to have your first cigarette at 6 a.m. And after that, maximum of one on the hour. So 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, or every 2 hours if you're not a heavy smoker. If you smoke about a carton or a half a pack a day, you would start off with every 2 hours. So from the time you wake up, wait 2 hours for your first cigarette, and then exactly 2 hours after that on the hour. So 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, through the day, okay? So we're trying to do a couple of things here. We're prolonging the amount of time between doses. Oh, this is not medical advice, by the way. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a health coach. This is not really any kind of advice. This is just me sharing what I did and how I quit smoking. So as I was saying, break the dependency by prolonging the amount of time. So day one, every 2 hours. The next day, you wait 3 hours from the time you wake up. That part is important. Don't smoke when you first wake up. Wait 3 additional hours from the time you wake up. And then you have a cigarette every 3 hours, exactly on the hour. We're also taking out the stimulus response part of that. It's no longer in reaction to a way you feel. You simply administer a dose of nicotine on a schedule. Okay, so that's pivotal. That's important. We're breaking the habit stimulus response. Okay. You may remember from psychology the Pavlov's experiment where he rang the bell and the dog started salivating when food was near. He finally got conditioned where he could just ring the bell and the dog would start salivating even when there was no food present. That's classic conditioning. So we're trying to break that. Right now you associate smoking with certain habits like after a meal or while you're driving or while you're having coffee or something like that. So we're trying to break that part of it by administering a dose of nicotine on a schedule. So day one, every hour. Day two, every 2 hours. Day three, every 3 hours. Day four, you guessed it, every 4 hours. And that's 4 hours from the time you wake up. Okay, so you continue that pattern. It's going to take about a week to step down. On the final day, you wake up and you go the entire day without a cigarette and have one cigarette at the end of the day. At that point, you know you have gone an entire day without smoking. You can go another day. Okay, the next day, don't smoke at the end of the day. That was your last cigarette. Okay, from this point, you have stepped down gradually. You've decreased your dependency, your physical dependency on this drug or this substance. Now it's just psychological. So remember earlier I said there are certain habits you have of associating a cigarette with this or that. You find something else to put in its place. If you like to smoke a cigarette while you're walking, maybe, go walk at the gym. Go walk somewhere where smoking is not allowed. Go to a bookstore. Find some habit or hobby that is not compatible with smoking. The idea is once you've quit, don't go back to it. Okay, I said that this method is infallible. I did quit smoking about 30 years ago. After the first 6 months or a year, I had a minor relapse. I smoked a cigarette one time, and then I did it again the next week, and the next week it became like once a week. And I thought, no, this is headed in the wrong direction. I don't want to make a habit out of this. I've already been a non-smoker. Everybody knows I don't smoke anymore. I'm not going back to this habit, so I was able to stop. But I never went back to the full-blown smoker, smoking a pack and a half. I smoked about a pack and a half a day. That's a carton a week, and I did that for about 10 years. So I was a smoker. So I understand. But like I said, I stopped doing that a long time ago. Now, there are certain substances that you can use, herbal or nutritional or otherwise, that would help with your stop smoking protocol. If you want additional advice for that, you can book a consult with me. Just use the link on my website, reshapehealthandfitness.com. I'll do a video chat or phone call with you, take about 15 minutes. We'll put a protocol together that can help you to end that bad habit once and for all. So thanks for watching, and if you have questions or suggestions for future shows, let me know. I'm here to help. Thanks a lot.